Hey everybody, welcome to this edition of Telemazing. Today we're going to be talking about the power rankings, my JPI or JPR or whatever I decide to call them. So I'm going to give you guys the top 10 shows that I am watching right now. So starting at number 10, we're going to talk about Superstore. America Ferrera and Ben Feldman are the two lead characters on Superstore. It's really a simple concept. They work at a superstore and shenanigans happen. You're not going to learn anything new. You're not going to learn anything innovative. It's just fun. It's just fun. I like it. Superstore, number 10. Number 9 is Bob's Burgers. I just binge it. Like, as any time I just binge it. It's just such an easy show to consume. So I really enjoy it, and that's why Bob's Burger is my number 9. Number 8 would be a new show on Netflix I like to call Lovesick, which is actually called Scrotal Recall in the previous incarnation of this show. So Lovesick is a premise where there's a main character, the guy, who eventually finds out he has chlamydia, so he has to contact all his former sexual partners. And while he's doing that, we actually get a look back a couple years back or a couple months back when he was in those relationships. We're also viewing his relationship with his friend that he actually is a love interest. Along with those two, they also have another character who's his best friend, who is kind of like the Neil Patrick Harris or the Barney Stinson of the show. Somebody who doesn't necessarily like love, but there's also a backstory of why he does it as well. This might sound like a traditional rom-com, and there are definitely elements of that, but one of the cool things about the show is that it doesn't necessarily read completely predictable. The flashbacks kind of still keep you on your toes as far as what's going on in the relationship. The first season I really enjoyed. It was actually really interesting. And the second season I'm not as much feeling, to be honest. However, I still think that the story overall has been really interesting. So that's why Lovesick is my number 8 show. Number 7 is Dreamland, which is an actual Australian show, which I'm actually really excited that I'm watching. Actually finished, and I'm so sad it's over. It's so good. If I explain this to you, it sounds boring, but I promise you it's really funny. But it follows a group of employees at a government infrastructure department. So they're responsible for putting different types of parks together. They're responsible for putting buildings, like approving bridges, any type of transportation. They're responsible for all that type of stuff. Pretty much each episode follows a project that they're trying to do and the ridicule behind it. I'm going to describe this as the two main characters, which is the head guy and the secondary head girl. They both are the norms. They're very much the straight men, where everyone else, like the supporting characters, are ridiculous. For example, the main character's secretary always tries so hard to be helpful, but is absolutely not at all. There's a person that is responsible for actually marketing the projects. Actually, he's supposed to pitch it up to the prime minister and stuff like that. Here's what's going down the pipeline, and then he always gets overexcited about the projects, and so he always says, "Hey, we're gonna do this," and tells the prime minister that, and then comes back the prime minister is so excited about it, and the guy, the main straight guy, is just like, "We haven't done any of this yet. We haven't done anything. How can you?" What? I can't describe it as The Office because it's not that at all, because it's more of their office are all the regular people while the boss is kind of the idiotic one, and it's kind of the inverse of that. The boss is trying so hard to keep everything together. I love this show. I wish that there were more than 2 seasons of it. I'm so disappointed. So if you don't know, it's on Netflix, or was on Netflix. It is on Netflix. Dreamland from Australia. So my number 6 show is The Crown, where it just pretty much follows Queen Elizabeth's life. Do you need me to dive into that more? Claire Voy plays the Queen, and Matt Smith plays Prince or Duke Philip, whatever we call him. And John Lithgow plays Winston Churchill. And I'm telling you, I have never seen performances better than these 3. It is by far the greatest performance, the greatest. I'm making up words just to emphasize to you how stellar these performances are, and you should just watch it. Even if you have no remote interest in anything British, you have to watch these guys. John Lithgow should win an Emmy for his portrayal of Churchill. It's just, he's phenomenal. He's just, I don't know what else to say to you. Watch The Crown, watch these people, vote for them for the Emmys, because if you don't, then TV is dead. I don't know. It's only number 6 just because of my enjoyment level of it, but don't think that I don't think it's spectacular any less because I put it at number 6. It is spectacular. You should watch it. Number 5 is actually a show that was on last week's list and stays on par. So, number 5 is The Good Place. Kristen Bell and Ted Danson are still owning and slaying it. All the supporting cast actually have been significantly getting better as far as the storyline, and they actually went to a different place that I didn't expect them to go. They're really doing well on that show. It hasn't gone all the way up because, it is what it is. It's still not the greatest comedy ever, but it's still making me laugh. It's still enjoyable. It's still awesome. And so that's number 5. It's A Good Place. Number 4 is a show that I fell in love with it forever, like day one. It was the greatest show I've ever seen on Netflix, and obviously I've seen better shows now, but the anthology series Black Mirror. Let me tell you something. Tim and I had like a 2-hour debate because of one of these episodes. That's how great this show is. So some people have said it's kind of gone downhill this season, and I understand. There's some elements that I can get why people weren't down with it as much. So here's the problem. Don't binge Black Mirror. That's the problem. Watch an episode like a day or an episode a week or something like that, because the problem with binging is that it just becomes too much too fast. So that's the thing that you need to remember going into this. Black Mirror, my number 4. My number 3 show actually fell 2 spots. Yeah, it was last time's number 1 show, Gilmore Girls. And let me make this clear. It's not that the show is not good anymore, but let me tell you, season 7 is dreadful on so many levels. For the most part, there's a lot of stuff that's going on that I really, really do not like. But, as a whole, Gilmore Girls is awesome. I like it a lot. You all should watch it up until season 6 and then just forget that it ever happened. And that's why Gilmore Girls is my number 3. Also, heads up, have not watched, again, season 7, not on new stuff. There's going to be a video about the new stuff. Trust me, I'm going to get there. You're going to know. My number 2 show is last ratings number 3 show, The Goldbergs. Going up 1 spot, The Goldbergs is still the show that makes me laugh the most. It's so funny. I just love every single character on them. All the supporting characters always make me laugh. All the main characters always hit their points so well. And it's just like such a great family comedy. I just love it so much. It's so great. The Goldbergs, one of my favorite comedies that I'm actively watching right now. That's why it's my number 2. And guys, oh my goodness. By the time you watch this, the series would be over because the finale was on Sunday. But I'm going to just, predict that I'm going to be going out of my freaking mind. Number 1 on the list is Westworld on HBO. By far, the most fun show I have been watching these last few months. I have to say, Gilmore Girls was fun. It's been great. But Westworld is a whole different other side. It's like a mystery. It's like there's no other type of mystery. Okay, American Horror Story kind of has that element to it. But with everything that we're watching today, it's like Breaking Bad or Game of Thrones. I mean, I'm sure there's other stuff going on, but it's not a real concrete mystery, really. This is like a full-on who done it, what's going on. It's like Lost, where you walk in with all of these questions and then you leave the episode going, I kind of got an answer, but then I came up with 20 other more questions later. And then after 6, 7 episodes, you start getting answers, which then makes you freak out. And then the last episodes have been insane. Just insane. Just do me a favor. Just do me a solid. Do me one solid. There's so many shows that I tell people to watch. And I take a lot of pride into when I recommend a show to you that you're going to like it. I put my reputation on it. I put it on the line for you. So when I tell you to stop watching this video, to then go on HBO Go. And no. If you don't have HBO Go, buy it. Buy HBO Go. And Westworld. Watch Westworld. It is going to change your life. And that's why Westworld is number 1. And that's my top rankings for the JPR, whatever we call it. My power rankings for the season. If you guys have any opinions on any of the shows that I just talked about, make sure you comment below. Tell me what you think about any of the shows I mentioned, or if you believe that another show should be totally on my list, you should tell me so I can watch it right now. Along with that, if you're new to Telemazing, we appreciate you guys checking us out. We have new videos every Tuesday and every Thursday, and along with that, we have a podcast every Monday that is up on iTunes, it's up on SoundCloud, it's up on Google Play. Anywhere you find your podcast, you can find us. And so make sure you subscribe to us. Otherwise than that, I'm Joseph Mwamba. Thank you for watching and caring about what I'm watching. Now go watch some TV. It was a horrible title. I'm glad they renamed it Lovesick, because nobody wants to be like, hey, you know what I watched last night? Scrotal Recall. Who finds that cool? Seriously. Maybe in Britain. But, it's not the greatest show I've ever heard in my life.